Hello, world. So I decided to do something a little different. I published my first book recently, and I'm going to read through it a chapter at a time. So, pocket full of posies. Yes, that's me. Alpega. Home. Is there anywhere better than home? Not for me, there isn't. Returning home again is the ultimate freedom, in my humble opinion. My name is Jeremiah, and I am returning home at long last, and there is no better home than mine. Rising from the crystal clear, molasses like waters of Alpega's shores in perfect time for the emergence. It feels like I'm being welcomed home by the entire city. The waters peel away from me like silk sliding down soul flesh in a single motion, not leaving a drop behind. As I step onto the soft golden shoreline, the song of the soon-to-be mothers soothes and connects not only me, but the souls intended for them. The whispers of those matrons spoken to those children overlap, creating their song. It is the most beautiful sound in the universe. The shore is dotted with souls awaiting the journey to greet their new mothers. They range in blue color shades from almost iridescent to nearly black. The darker the color, the more experienced they are, the more journeys they have taken. With every journey to other realms to be bonded with another being, and we bring back some part of that character, some trait, a gesture, a manner of speaking, and become slightly darker shade of blue until, like me, you are stealth black. You are a shade. But by the same token, if you are attacked and damaged, you lose color and experience. Lose too much, so much that it takes you beyond innocence and back to creation. Welcome to my home, Alpega. It's not just mine, but yours too. It is home to almost everyone at some point. Only you don't remember you've been here. For nearly everyone, some places bring us back to the most important and comfortable times in our lives. Places that remind us of what it is to be alive and why most are so desperate for their lives to never end. The city of Alpega is a place that embodies all those feelings you wish you could hold on to forever. It's the smell of fresh cut grass, the feel of soft moss on a tree, breathing its earthy scent, the sound of water rolling over itself in a desperate attempt to be the first to reach the end of the riverbed, the first scent of bacon and biscuits that reaches you as you head in from the fields for breakfast, the feeling of taking a nap on the riverbed, to feel the sun pressing on your eyelids, aggressively intrusive, your first love laid across your chest, listening to your heartbeat. And like most of the life in the universe, that is where we begin. It is essential to include a side note for some of you who need to be made aware and only think in base terms. But souls are genderless. We are so much more evolved than that. Therefore, we are not he or she, as some of you may be used to encompass all that we are and can be. But we may leave that for another time. I'm sure you have heard the phrase, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We all have. Death is supposed to be the end, or perhaps the beginning. Either way, you're supposed to find peace. There is at least supposed to be a peace of mind. Well, I'm going to tell you there isn't. Darwin was right about that whole survival of the fittest thing, but he had no idea how far it goes. Typical short-sighted human nature. Of all the hardships you have to endure and overcome, nothing compares to the before and after. Yeah, I know you think this won't affect you because you are the best, the smartest, the fastest. But mark my words, you are just one among many brave, brilliant souls that never made it home again. So, again, welcome to Alpega, a city you don't even know you inhabit. I guess I'm your delegated guide. I'll be taking you through the channels here and showing you around. Hopefully, you will take back some of the information because heaven knows none of the other ways we have tried to educate humans have worked so far. Alpega is where you would say the Guff or Treasury of Souls is located. And we are the epitome of you, your existence. And this is the most beautiful city you will never see. Your essence. And this, we are the souls that make the journey from Alpega to Earth and other realms, of course, to join with your physical form when you are born and make the journey back again when you die. A journey that, by the way, is not all peaches and cream. And I'll tell you, I don't really care to remember how many times I've made the trip there and back. I can tell you I'm ready to be done with the whole thing. There comes a time when no matter how good or self assured you are, you just don't want to fight anymore. You really don't want to watch your friends go down the path, to say nothing of the soulettes. The fear in their eyes when they get ready to go. I tell you, we might as well wrap them up, snack grabbers, and drop them off the doorstep to hell. It's not like we don't try to train them, but there's only so much you can do. They're completely outmatched from the get go. At least leaving here, they know what's coming. But that sure isn't the case on the way back. There you are on your deathbed, waiting for heaven and angels and such when, bam, suddenly it's fight for it, Slim. We've taken to call them Slims, taken to calling them Slims because of their chances. I know, it's crude, but real. It's no sweetness and light world we live in here. You fight or you die, and sometimes you fight and you die anyway. Heaven is debatable, and hell is right there in front of you. Anyway, you'll see what I mean. It's for your own good, but I warn you, it's not for the faint of heart. No one wants to watch new souls surrender to villains in the dark, but so often that is precisely what happens to them. We spend a lot of time in the center of the city. Most of it is either training or trying to help those in other realms. I genuinely wish I could share the beauty of this city, especially when everyone is joined together in the chant to bring others home. It's a unique oneness, a belonging that you will never experience anywhere else. The best way I can think of to describe it, I suppose the best way is to start by not considering it a city, at least not what a human would call a city. There are no homes. We are already home. We don't need or desire a house to store away things we think should belong to us that no one else can, so no one else can touch them, or lock others inside so no one else can see them shine. Don't need a place to lay our heads. We don't require sleep. We have long since moved past the point of needing food to nourish ourselves. Alpega gives us all the nourishment we require. It does give me hope for the species that some on your planet have begun to master this as well. But back to the topic. I suppose it would be easier for you to think of this more as an entity than a city, a place so connected that it moves and breathes together. Occasionally, I go to one of the higher areas up on the plateaus so that I can look down and see it all together. It is stunning. It looks to me a lot like someone has poured oil paints together, one on top of another. So many shades of pearlescent blues, whites, black, purple, all flowing together. No entity is concerned about losing itself. We are all perfectly happy to be part of the art. If you could feel what it is to connect to the universe, to judge the energy flowing through you, feel your connection to everything else, you would know what it is to be here in this place with other souls. I saw some paintings once that reminded me of them. That kind of connection is something that is beyond most humans' abilities yet. There are no streets paved with gold here. That is something in some place different. Although I could see how some might say it was. The sand from our beaches is much like gold, but substantially brighter and softer. When it gets tracked into the city, the light refracting off of it is quite brilliant. The connecting tissue of the city, the spiral, and the area here that we call visions. It is a place for homecoming. They built it to amplify the call to the dying. If you notice when you look to the sides, the walls are specially designed to create a horn-like effect to amplify the call across the universe. Of course, no place needs to listen more than Earth. This is where it starts, or should I say continues, because it never ends. There are always souls here, calling out to those coming home. If you could see it from above, it would amaze you. It is our version of a common human allegory, the roots of the tree of life. Souls can gather in any area in Alpega, and it connects, like tree roots, automatically to visions. All we need to do is touch the walls, and we can hear the dying and call back to them. From here, we try to guide the souls, to give them some sort of strategy. Our signal is not strong, but we do our best to help. If they are listening and focusing on us, they have a fighting chance. I don't know if you've ever been around someone dying, but you know how they kind of get far off and seem like they're listening to someone else? Yeah, that's us. But unfortunately, humans don't listen very well. We left instructions, we leave clues, but it all just falls on deaf ears. You are the most stubborn, headstrong critter this side of the universe. Even your own Bible says to mourn the birth and rejoice the death. But do you listen? No. You stand around the dying, weeping and wailing, pretending that it's them you're crying for, when it is really just yourself. Why would you mourn if you believe they are going to a better place? So there you are, standing around being selfish, not the least bit concerned for someone else's soul, just your own sorrow. If you paid attention to the clues we left, you would know that is the worst thing you could do for them, or more to the point, to them. When you stand around them carrying on like that, you distract them from the call. The closer you are to them, the louder you are, and the further away we sound. There we are, fighting for your loved ones and ours, by the way, while you sabotage them. One dramatic, wailing woman can completely drown out what we are trying to do. Anyway, here, sit with me. I will show you what I mean. Hold my hand and listen. Shh, quiet yourself and listen. Here, this one. That's chapter 1. Chapter 2, Cameron, coming up next. Hope at least somebody enjoys it. Y'all have a good night.